Hello, my name is Raymond Aaron. I'm a New York Times top 10 best-selling author, a professional speaker for almost 40 years, a broadcaster, an author of 143 published books, and an adventurer. But this video is about health. You see, I'm also a pretty big expert in the field of health. My parents formed one of the largest nonprofit organizations in the world to teach about health. And I grew up understanding these principles. And as a result, I take very, very powerful nutritional supplements, and I have been all my life. I've always taken very, very powerful nutritional supplements. But I had the problem for decades, and that is that I never saw any benefit. I knew they were good. I knew they were healthy. I studied the ingredients in them, and I studied what they were doing in the body, and I know all that science and technology, but I didn't actually experience any benefit. But I still took them every day for decades and decades. Why? Because I could tell from the science they were good for me. But I kept saying to myself, well, maybe it's because I'm so healthy anyways. Maybe I got good genes. Maybe I got a strong body. Maybe I got a strong constitution. And that's why I can't actually see any result, because I'm so high already. And so that's what I said. However, recently, I've started taking a new nutritional supplement, new to me. It's been proven for decades, but I just recently started taking it, and I've been startled at the benefits that I've received. And I told some friends, and they said, whoa, we want to take that too. And so they've taken it, and I've got amazing feedback after several months from them as well. And it's on the topic of antioxidant. And I want to tell you quickly what an antioxidant is. You may or may not have heard about it, but even if you've heard about it, you may know the word, but may not know exactly what it is. So if you're healthy and you're safe and you're quiet, then there's no problem. But let's say you get frightened or worried, or someone cuts you off as you're driving, get all upset, or your spouse yells at you, or your kids are disobedient. Anytime that happens, a wave of oxidizing goes through your body, and it burns and destroys. For example, when you burn wood, that's actually oxidizing, and of course you're destroying the wood. But let's talk about things that are living. For example, an apple. When you put an apple on a table, it can stay there for weeks. But if you disturb it, if you frighten it, for example, by cutting it in half, that's a big fear, then the insides, though they're initially white, within a very short time, let's say half an hour, are brown. Why? Because they get oxidized. The actual oxygen from the air interacts with the apple and turns it brown. It slowly kills, it slowly decays the apple. Exactly the same thing in you. So what are all the emotional causes of oxidizing? Well, I told you a few. If someone cuts you off in traffic, if you get frightened, if you get upset, if you worry about money, if you worry that your business might go under because of this coronavirus lockdown, if you worry that you're going to get sick because of the coronavirus or some other illness, then every time you worry, every time you get frightened, every time you get mad or upset, a wave of oxidizing goes through your body, and it starts slowly decaying you. One worry isn't going to suddenly kill you, obviously, you know that. But over and over, over and over, over and over, it slowly decays all your organs, just like it slowly decays and kills the apple. So that's oxidizing. So that's bad. I know you need oxygen, but it also decays you. Your body knows all about this. On its own, it knows. And every time a wave of oxidizing goes through your body mounts its own army of good guys. And what are the good guys called? Obviously, antioxidants, because they have to fight the oxidizing. So they're called antioxidants. And they're the good guys, and they fight the oxidizing, but there's two issues. Number one, as you get older, your good guy army of antioxidants gets weaker and weaker, just because you get older. And then the second thing that's happening, which makes it doubly worse, is that the bad things that are happening out there are getting worse. We've never had a worldwide lockdown causing all kinds of economic harm. We've never had a worldwide virus killing so many people. We've never had so many incidents, especially in the United States, of white cops shooting black unarmed kids in the back. That's horrible for any thinking person to imagine. We've never had like the Me Too movement where women are coming forward and claiming that men have taken advantage of them. We've never had so much insolence amongst people. We've never had so little respect. The schools are reporting that the grades that they have to pass people on are getting lower and lower and lower. People are graduating without really knowing how to write properly, without knowing mathematics. So a lot of things are getting really worse. The political system, especially in the United States, is so contentious. There's a lot of worry and grief and fear going on. So just like your body's ability to defend, called your army of antioxidants, is getting weaker and weaker as you age, so is the oxidizing caused by all these horrible things that are going on is getting worse and worse. So the army of bad guys is getting worse and worse, and the army of good guys is getting weaker and weaker. So you need to do something about it. And I already told you what it is: powerful nutrients, powerful nutritional supplements. And I already told you that I've taken them all my life. I'm 76 years old. I've taken them all my life for 5-6 decades. But when I did this new one, the whole world changed. And I'm first going to tell you about some of the experiences of my friends. One friend of mine, his name is Jack. He's 76 years old, same age as me. And 10 years ago, he stopped being able to perform in bed. So he went to his doctor, and the doctor said, well, there are 3 stages of virility or libido in a man's sexual life. Number 1, he can perform well. Number 2, he can perform well only with Viagra. And then the 3rd and final stage is he can't perform even with Viagra. So 10 years ago, he started taking Viagra. And again, of course, he was able to perform in bed with his wife. And then when he started taking this nutritional supplement that I was taking and getting so much value from, he suddenly realized after less than several months that he was able to perform in bed without Viagra. And so he threw his Viagra away. Now, please listen carefully. This nutritional supplement is not a Viagra replacement. Like, I don't want you to think that only men should take it and only men who have that particular virility problem should take it. No. Listen carefully. When you have very, very powerful antioxidants supporting your body, it infuses your body with nutrients. It infuses your whole body with nutrients. It supports and cleanses all your organs, your liver, your spleen, your kidney, your heart, your lungs, your brain, your skin, your eyesight. Every single organ of your body gets infused with wellness. And as a result of that, all your functions are improved. The ones that don't work are the ones you have trouble with, and then when they improve, you can actually notice them. But even if you can't notice it, it's still improving inside your body. Like, if your spleen got better, how would you know? I don't even know what the spleen does. And so if you notice something, it's because that thing wasn't working, and then this nutritional supplement supported it to such a degree that it started working again. But even if you can't notice a difference, know from these examples that it is really working inside of you. So that's Jack's story, and he was so happy. He used to have to give his wife half an hour's notice, kind of killed the romance. Let me give you another example. My own sister is, of course, in her mid-70s, and she likes to go for a 1-hour bike ride every morning. Bless her soul. I love that she does that. Recently, she took a totally different route, and it took her 2 hours, and she came back exhausted and frightened. Why exhausted? Because she went too far. Why frightened? Because an older woman who is very, very exhausted on a bicycle, she could make a mistake, she could fall, she could very much hurt herself. And so she got home and she said, never again. I'm never taking that 2-hour route again. And she didn't. But when I told her about this nutritional supplement, she started taking it. And within several months, she said, you know what? Even though I've sworn I'll never take that longer route, I'm feeling really good. And so she attempted the longer route. She did the entire 2 hours. She came home completely refreshed. And now she's willing to do the 2-hour route occasionally. And she called me and she's thanked me. She's so, so grateful. Let me give you another example. I have a friend, a client, and she has a problem that for the last 30 years, she's never slept more than 4.5 hours a night. And so her organs must be deteriorated because she's been in sleep deprivation for 3 decades. That's an awful long time. When she heard of this nutritional supplement, and she said to me, will it help with sleep? And I said, it helps infuse all your organs. It cleanses and infuses all your organs with nutrients, so any body function that isn't working will suddenly start working again because all your organs are working better. So she said, okay, I'll try it. And within several months, she started sleeping 8.5 hours a night after 30 years of never more than 4.5 hours a night. She calls me, she blesses me, she thanks me. But now let me tell you my own story. A long time ago, actually 40 years ago, when I was 36, I was an athlete, a really, really big athlete. I was a wild cave explorer. I was a mountain climber. I was a rock climber. I was a track racer and a road racer. And road racing, I ran a half marathon. I ran 3 marathons. I ran 110 Ks, believe it or not, 110 Ks. And if you know anything about 10 Ks, my time of 40 minutes was dazzlingly fast. And I also decided to take on a huge challenge one day, 40 years ago, and that is a 100-kilometer ultramarathon. Ultramarathon means any race longer than 26 miles, and 100 kilometers is 62 miles, if you're more familiar with the American system. And I started at noon, and I finished at half an hour after midnight. It took 12.5 hours. I ran 100 kilometers, 62 miles, and I injured my knee so badly, it swelled up, and I could never run again. I tried to because I was an athlete. I would jog every day. I would take on these challenges. I would enter a race. I'd put my bib on, and the gun would go, and I would race along. I was a runner. I was an athlete. I was excited. So when my knee healed, or when it didn't hurt much any longer, I tried to run again, but I couldn't. I just couldn't. And I resented it, and I felt bad because I'm an athlete. For 40 years, I haven't run. For 40 years, I haven't run. I've tried occasionally, but I was unable. And walking with my wife late at night, several months after I started taking this wonderful antioxidant, I said to her, I know I should be tired because it's late at night. And I know I haven't run in 40 years. But Karen, I can't figure it out. But don't worry, I'll come back to you. And she's saying, what's going on? And I just started running. Late at night, in the dark, in my safe little village, I just started running. And I was running and I was yelling, I'm running, I'm running. I was so, so excited. And then I ran back to her and said, I'm running and I'm not tired yet. I'm going to keep running. And she's laughing her head off. She says, you're an old guy. You're 76. When did you run last? And I figured it out 40 years ago. Now I've gained weight since 40 years ago. I haven't run in 40 years. And I was running and I was abundantly happy. So let me tell you a little more about this antioxidant. Most companies that produce an antioxidant do their research and they find correctly that grapeseed extract is the most powerful antioxidant. Grapeseed extract from red grapes. And it's true. But the company that I want to tell you about looked at all 8 of the most powerful antioxidants. And they found to their surprise that all 8 are valuable. All 8 work differently on different organs over different periods of time. So if you just have one antioxidant, it does one thing in one period of time in one way on certain organs better than others. But when you take all 8, all your organs get infused with wellness. All your organs gets cleansed. All your organs are just filled with nutrition. And that's why it works so well. Furthermore, this company has a very startling specific policy, and that is they have made a definition of organic that is stricter than anyone else in the world. Their definition is that a farm has to be certified organic for at least 50, that's 50 years before they will buy it or joint venture with the current farmer and allow their crops to grow on that farm. So they go to the best place in the world where that particular fruit or herb grows, and they will buy or joint venture with the farmer, but it has to be certified organic for 50 years. That means absolutely no pesticides, absolutely no herbicides, absolutely no fertilizers for 50 years. And that's why the products that they produce are so powerful. They, of course, use grapeseed extract, but also vanilla extract and goji berry and wild blueberry. They just use all the most powerful and produced in the healthiest and safest way and the cleanest way possible. And that's why this wonderful antioxidant, it's a drink. You take a small drink in the morning and a small drink at night. And you do that every single day. Within months, your body is so cleansed and pure. It's so wonderful. I'm so glad that I'm taking it. I will never have a day without it for the rest of my life. And so many people that I've talked to say, oh my gosh, I want it. Oh my gosh, I want it. Oh my gosh, I want it. Let me in. Give me the details. And so the person who sent you this video, just contact them back, or they're probably on the line with you, and say, I want in. How much is it? How do I give you my name and address and have it shipped to me? Just ask them how to set it up for you, and they will do that. And congratulations, your body will thank you. Your spleen and your liver and your kidneys and your heart and your lungs and your brain and your eyes and your hair and your nails and eyesight, everything will thank you. And you may notice a change actually very quickly. You may notice an improvement after 3 or 6 months. But even if you don't, and some people don't, but they still keep taking it because they know how powerful this blend of 8 antioxidants is, just keep taking it, but only for the rest of your life. Just take it for the rest of your life, because it's the only, as I told you, the only nutritional supplement that I've ever experienced a specific benefit from. Thank you, thank you, thank you.